1 month ago from today, we reacted to a video where someone was in a coma and could hear everything around them. Like you know, you could hear everything in a coma. That was what it was about. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, go check that out before you watch this one, because today, 1 month later, we are going to,
It was pitch black,
it's already
so
gonna
I
walk,
missed a
it's,
step on the ladder,
okay, it's gonna recap what I
leg
just said.
slipped.
Kind of ruined what I was gonna go for here today, but we're gonna do part 2 and wrap up this story and see what is it like being in a coma, part 2.
It was pitch black, so I missed a step on the ladder, and then my leg slipped. The damage she suffered to her head due to the fall has resulted in severe internal bleeding in her brain, resulting in a coma.
This is not a happy story, by the way. Watching this video, if you're looking to come here and smile and go home and be like, wow, so wholesome, lover fella, thanks for making my day better. That's not gonna happen today.
I wasn't in a
I don't
coma.
think it might.
That meant that I could hear everything. A year quickly turned into 2, and I felt the person I used to be disappearing. I had to find a way to stay here, in this world.
That's where we left off. So we left off, this girl is stuck in a coma. Her parents put her literally in the closet and said like, Darlene, you're nothing to us. We do not want you in our life. And she said, well, okay, she didn't say anything, but now let's move on.
I remember loving science, but I no longer remembered any of the stuff that we'd learned at school. At the same time,
sad.
my mind clung onto those memories, and at the same time, started creating new ones that hadn't existed before. I had to find a way to stay here, in this world.
Was that a Kung Fu teacher? Rewind that. Kung Fu teacher, yes or no? I think it might have been Kung Fu teacher. There's a possibility that it was a Kung Fu teacher.
If I had to create my own world inside my head, Maisie became my best friend. She always visited on Sundays. Every time she came, she talked about her classmates. How Sophie had fallen in love with Joe, and how Kit had failed the math test, so the teacher had punished him by making him solve 10 equations in front of the whole class.
Sorry, I just paused it there twice on accident because I was trying to like stop it to say something, but it broke up the storyline. I'm not going to say anything now because it's not even that important, but I just wonder if that's a real thing. If you've ever had a coma, like do you really make up memories? I don't know.
These visits, though they were only in my head, were the best parts of my day.
I mean, I wonder if that's
didn't know
real. Like, can that actually happen to you? I don't know the
myself
answer to that.
Was actually a kind of exercise for my damaged mind. I didn't realize that I was helping myself get better. If I
cool.
I wouldn't have waited 3 years to start doing it.
I literally believe this. Like, I feel like the brain is capable of so many crazy things. And so the fact that it could like recreate like a person to help you, like that seems so plausible to me. I'm into this one, guys. This is a true story to me.
Consciousness was slowly returning. You might wonder, how did I realize that? Well, simply, I felt my eyelids flutter whenever Maisie visited me.
Oh, that's
Believe
good.
it or not, our thoughts have incredible power. But even
I just said that.
no one knew that I was coming out of a coma. Ever since I'd first been diagnosed as being in a coma, I was totally aware of everything happening around me, exactly like a normal person. But I was stuck inside a silent body, it seemed.
Guys, I feel like we might be walking away with a happy story today. I know this is not the right scene to pause it on, the right imagery here to associate with happiness, but actually even the soul is frowning there. It's an upset, angry soul ghost, but it's gonna be, I think she's gonna wake up. Or she might die. It could be a twist. Could be eaten by cannibals. We don't know.
Mind full of life that no one noticed. I started accepting this cruel fate and got lost in my
you can't
made-up
accept
thoughts.
it, no.
Suddenly, I could no longer tell the difference between what was real and what wasn't. There's a fine line that separates memory from imagination.
Come on, girl.
And I clearly overstepped it.
You can do this.
The one thing I was absolutely certain of was that the fights my parents had and my mom's betrayal were 100% real.
Hey, me too. Am I right, guys? Me too. Leave a comment down below if your parents fight a lot, too. Okay.
After 4 years, my mom had had enough of me. How long must I endure moving this body left and right without any response? She would yell in my dad's face, and he would answer, until she dies.
Don't like that.
Imagine being in my position, not being able to speak to a friend, not feeling loved anymore, not having any ambitions or dreams, no hope of being able to look forward to anything.
Wow. She said imagine it, so now I'm gonna imagine it. It's terrible. I don't like it. It really is terrible. Okay, that's enough imagining for me.
My thoughts were miserable ones. I lived in fear. And if I was being honest, I was waiting for death so I could
it's so
escape from
sad.
all of this.
Come
I
on,
pictured
girl.
myself dying in
No.
some nursing home.
Get up.
cold and alone.
Yeah, I mean, you can't,
And
but
so that's how I spent those 4 long years. Snowball's existence was my only comfort. My eyelids started fluttering a lot. You might think that's not really a big deal.
eyelid fluttering means REM sleep or something, so she's very, I don't know, that seems like a big deal to me.
Anyone can do that without trying, But that wasn't the case with me. Snowball noticed what was going on and started to
Let's go,
bark
my
for
boy.
hours and hours without stopping. My mom couldn't tolerate it. My dad came home and Snowball continued to bark. Everyone went to bed and Snowball was still barking.
Because he knows that she is in there and she's coming back today, and he's saying, wake up, Dad, wake up, Mom, your girl is coming to get you soon, and she heard you fighting and she is back.
Just like me, wishing for someone to realize that I was still with them. But what happened was the opposite of what we hoped for. The next day, his barking stopped completely.
Oh, wait, hold up, what now?
I didn't know what had happened to him. Mom must have gotten rid of him. I was really worried about him.
What?
Snowball was my only friend, the only one that made me feel that I wasn't actually dead. He disappeared.
No.
That day, I heard some heated discussion between my parents. You might say that nothing was new, but this time, it was different. My mom—
Did you notice that her parent is no longer her parent? It's a gray blob because she's forgot what they look like. This is getting so deep right now, guys. I cannot handle this.
Decided to leave my dad. She accused him of having never been the perfect husband. She was crazy. He was the coolest dad a girl could ever wish for. He tried to persuade her to stay, but it was pointless. She screamed at the top of her voice. It would have been better if she died that day. It's like a curse that won't go away unless I leave. The sound of the door
Could you imagine hearing your mom say that?
slamming was the last
can.
thing I heard that day. I was incapable of changing any of the things around me, or even the way my mom and dad looked at me. I was an invisible, silent watcher to how people acted when they thought no one was looking.
That's terrible.
Unfortunately, I wasn't just a watcher. Because of my inability to communicate with people, I became the perfect victim. A creature that looked like it was devoid of emotions. For 4 years, my mom used to abuse me mentally and physically.
What?
What did I ever do to her to deserve that? A part of me wanted to cry, and the other part wanted to fight. I was—
What? I mean, could you, like, even if you manage to, even if she does somehow turn around at the end of this show and come back and she's good to go, she's safe, she's happy, could you even go on knowing, like, that you've seen, like, these sides of people, like your parents, that you could never unsee? Like, I don't know, that'd be so hard to get over. Like, you're gonna need all the therapy. I'm just gonna say that.
Pain and sadness. It was torture. The following day, it was like I no longer existed inside the house. My dad was really depressed. He moved me to a nursing home, exactly like I'd expected would happen. I felt worthless now without Snowball, and without people around me. I became even more of a shell of my former self. Another year went by, and everyone still thought I was in a deep coma. And then—
Do people that, like, this is real, right? People that actually get into comas, they can actually, like, live like this for a long time, like in a state where they can hear you and everything, but they can't actually respond. Like, I'm pretty sure that's actually a real thing. So there's probably a lot of people that have been through this, which is crazy. Unless I'm completely wrong, but I feel like they probably have.
In the nursing house, everything was so quiet. No voices, no movements, and no talking. Just a stranger who moved me left and right every day and who made sure that my machines were working normally. The 6-year mark came and went, and then the 7th, and everything was the same. I used to figure out that the time from the nurses changing shifts every 6 hours.
I mean, 7 years. 7 years. What was I doing? I was 18. I was graduating high school 7 years ago. I cannot imagine 7 years of that.
That on the 4th time I was moved, a day would have passed. No one visited me during the 3 years that I spent there, except my friend Maisie. No one cared about me but her. I lived in terror. I knew every day would be exactly the same as the last one.
Oh my gosh.
Over and over again.
Now, if you're in a coma like that, do you sleep? Or are you just always, are you always sleeping? Are you all, I don't know.
I totally lost any hope I had of hearing another person's voice. But then one night, my dad decided to visit me. I had no idea what date it was because I'd lost all sense of time. But it happened to be my 20th birthday.
Wow.
He held my hand and—
From the age of 13 until 20.
I couldn't believe it when I heard his voice. It felt like a dream. He told me, "You won't be alone anymore. I'll be with you forever from now on."
What was he
I
getting?
can't
Oh.
believe you just turned 20.
Is he killing
Emotions
her?
welled up in me, and suddenly I could feel the familiar fluttering of my eyelids. I had to open my eyes. I
Do
couldn't
it.
stay like this
Come on,
anymore.
do it.
My dad
Yes.
had his face buried in my shoulder, and he was crying. He couldn't see my face or my eyes, but when he turned his head, he jumped and ran outside screaming at the top of his voice, "Doctor!"
Guys, I got chills right now. I
need
just
a
ruined it for that,
doctor."
but I got chills.
Perhaps emotions have more power than we realize. My dad's love for me made me open my eyes once again. The doctors ran some tests on me, and none of them could explain what had happened. They only said the damage that her head suffered was apparently able to heal with time. Your daughter is out of her coma. To make sure I was able to hear them, the doctor asked me to blink twice. And
Guys, this is crazy right now. I did not expect to feel so good after a story. Oh boy, what's gonna happen from here?
Being
Oh
able
my goodness.
to communicate again,
This is a treat.
even in a simple way, felt like the best thing in the world. But even more than that was the fact that I was no longer a nobody. Dad was so excited. He didn't even know where to begin. But my movement and reactions were still limited. It would take time.
Now that's the question. That seems like a Disney miracle to me. Is that it? Your dad talks and you're healed? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not.
There were seriously times where I almost gave up, but I had to hold on to this. My dad promised never to leave me alone, and he kept his word. At night, my dad moved my bed towards the window. It was the first time I'd seen the sky for the last 7 years.
Wow. 7 years, no sky. 7 years. That's how I feel right now, living inside it and always working, but...
At that moment, a star fell from the sky. I closed my eyes
And it hit you and she died.
and wished to be able to speak again. I mean, there must have been a reason for the star to fall at that moment, right? It couldn't have been a coincidence. That night, my dad told me about that dark day. He told me how Snowball ran home barking nonstop. My mom tried to shut him up and to kick him out, but he refused. He bit my dad's pants and kept pushing until my dad came with him outside. From afar, he saw me motionless on the ground. He panicked and drove me to the hospital in a hurry. There, they told him that there was no hope. But
Man, this is such a roller coaster of emotions right now, and I'm feeling like happy and then sad. Now I'm feeling sad again, and guys, it's a journey.
my
This is a
dad
real
wouldn't
journey.
give up.
I'm
He
hoping that
knew
she comes
there would
back, though.
come a day where I'd be okay again. He must have gotten sick of waiting for that day.
His hair is gray.
It's true that I was happy for recovering gradually, but even then, I didn't feel completely free. People around me were still controlling everything.
That do be
When
tough,
and
though.
what I ate, if I could stay in bed, or if I should be sitting on a chair.
I mean, I feel like, at that point, if you're in a coma for 7 years and you're now, I guess I want to say probably shouldn't. You shouldn't complain. It's getting better. You're probably gonna heal, but I haven't been in that situation, so I'd probably
It didn't
complain
matter how
too.
many times I blinked, I couldn't say anything except
Okay,
for
that
yes
sucks.
and no. One day, my dad came in all happy. He told me that the doctors had finally agreed to let him take me on a wheelchair around the city. It was the first time in so long that I get to move and finally leave my bed. I was
Wow.
scared. The outside world must have changed a lot. I didn't know if I should go, but I needed this. It was time.
I'm trying to think, like, what has changed in the last 7 years? The iPhone's upgraded, and world's about to be destroyed here soon. Aliens might be landing, but really nothing crazy.
To get back out there. I remember one moment from that day very vividly. My dad left me alone in the car on our way back in order to buy something quickly from the store. A woman passed by, looked at me, and smiled. I didn't know the reason behind her smile back then, and I'll never know. But that small smile, a small human interaction, made me feel better again.
Wow, this is so wholesome. And I see people, and I don't smile. I see them, and I do this. I go like, give them a, like, hey, kind of like. It looks so stupid when I see it, but yeah, that's it. I used to do that at work. I'd walk by people all the time, like walking on the long hallways. You'd see each other coming, real long time. You'd be walking like 30 seconds. You'd know he's coming. You like get up to each other, and you realize like you don't know each other, and you're just like, hey.
A woman's smile is what pushed me to continue. Seeing my dad come into my room was always the best moment of my day. However, I wasn't pleased when my dad entered my room with the press who came to listen to my story.
Oh.
Apparently, they decided that my story was worth being told and shared. The press ruined my peace and quiet. My mom even returned just so she could be in the spotlight.
Oh, I wondered if the mom was gonna come back or not. I wondered.
She returned after disappearing for so long, just for fame.
Wait, guys, hold up. I just realized something. I did never realize this the entire time until right now. We're 19 minutes into this story, if you count the last episode. She must have healed if she's able to tell this story. Right? If she's actually talking right now, she must have healed. So I'm just taking a little guess here that she does heal fully. Thank you, context clues.
The press did help a bit, though. My dad had them help us look for solutions and treatments that might help me get better. My
Interesting.
mom, though, well, she didn't exactly show up because she suddenly remembered the importance of family. She was just there for fame. And Dad wanted me to decide if she could stay or not. Mom's
no.
answer was, "My dear daughter, do you want your mommy back in your life?"
Oh, that sounds so much like something my mom says to us. Like, oh, it's so nasty, dude. You're gross.
I blinked nonstop, and this meant I wanted her to go, because I knew she didn't care if I lived or died. My
Wow.
dad was a person who'd taken care of me my whole life. Of course, he had weak moments where he wasn't by my side, but at least he still loved me enough and thought of me all the time. And for me, that was enough.
So
and guess
wholesome.
what?
You
My
healed.
dad got in
Oh.
contact with one of the big companies that made medical devices.
Oh,
They
okay.
had created a device that gets implanted inside the brain and is connected to a special computer.
What
the
now?
device sends electric waves to the computer that then says the words out loud.
Okay, now is that real? Does that exist? I don't know. I feel like it might, but I don't know. I feel like I have no idea if this exists or not, and it's really hurting my ability to tell if this is a true story. I'm gonna say yes, it's real, probably.
Company heard about my
Maybe.
condition in the
I don't
media
know.
and were happy to help me. The first time they tried this on me was pretty funny. Everything I said made everyone laugh, but for me it was sad because I never got an answer to my question. What I asked was, what happened to my dog Snowball? My story might be sad. Some of you might believe it, and others will say that it is just a product of my imagination.
What happened to
But
Snowball?
what can't be denied is that there are a lot of people like me in this world who no one knows anything
Why is everyone laughing? What happened to
about
Snowball? Why didn't they
because
answer?
They don't have the ability to connect with people. It wouldn't hurt to act nicely towards them and not to ignore them, because like me, they have feelings too. My
wholesome
suffering
message.
lasted for 7 years, but I truly believe that the star that fell that night was the reason my wish of being able to talk again came true. Everything happens for a reason. Did you like my story?
Yes.
Don't forget to tell me what
Yes,
you
I
think
did.
in the comments
I
below.
did. I did. And I'm gonna tell you right now what I liked. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna leave a comment right now, guys. I'm gonna say this is what I liked. I liked it. I liked it. There you go, guys. I left a comment. I said I liked it right here, right now, today. Thank you so much for the beautiful story. It was beautiful. I actually did just comment there, so guys, come check out this comment if you want. I don't know why you would, but lick that screen. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Lick that screen. Peace.